right, let's see if the tech gods are with me today. Woo! Please, glorious tech gods. See if we... All right, good. All right, so it's called The Right Thing. That's good. But the streaming, anyways. All right. So we're not on Wacky Wednesdays. It's Frisky Fridays, and the description below is inaccurate. I'll have to figure out what's going on there later. So let's get into our juicy stuff. Hold on here. Let's press record. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Frisky Fridays. I am Gaia Morrissette, your host, your hostess with the mostest this morning. I am going to be talking about all things couples related. That's what we do at Frisky Fridays. And it's on the third Friday of every month at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I have shifted from Facebook Lives to YouTube Lives so that we don't have as much tech issues, in theory. All right, so let's see what's going on. All right, so I'm Gaia Morrissette. I'm your holistic sexual wellness specialist. I make sex safe, I make it better, and I help you take it to the next level. And I do this through speaking, training, and coaching. And I fully believe the keys to a happy, healthy, wealthy, epic, orgasmic life is embracing the human experience, tantra, sexual wellness, and letting go of fear, shame, and guilt. And I do this through being my delightfully awesome self in the world. All right, let's get into our juicy topic. Codependency versus interdependency. Actually, I lied. A little teaser. Before we get into our topic today, one more housekeeping thing. So if you're really enjoying Frisky Fridays and you want more Frisky Fridays and you want more me and you want more, couple related content, articles, videos, workshops, courses, retreats, these kinds of things, you want to sign up for my newsletter. And I'll put the details later after the live is over in the description below. So don't use the links in the description below because it's it's left over from Wacky Wednesday's description at this point. For everybody who's listening and not actually watching me, for all the juicy details of how you can get more Gaia more of the time, you can come visit me at www.succulentliving.com for all of your wonderful education, knowledge, and adventuring. Okay? All right, so let's get into Frisky Friday's topic this morning, which is codependency versus interdependency. So those are some big tech therapeutic tools or jargon there. So what does that mean? So I'll go into what it means in a second, but why do you want to know about this? Well, this might be the very reason why your relationship is sucking, why your relationship isn't working, why you're unhappy in your relationship, why you're feeling a lot of resentment within your relationship or relationships. And when I talk about relationship, it's important that you understand that I mean any relationship and however you define relationship. That doesn't mean a heterosexual monogamous couple. It could be any form of relationships that resonate for you. It could be, you could, in whatever love and in whatever way that you have framed your relationships. Okay. So I think that's really, really important, because not everybody is heterosexual or monogamous. I'm neither of those things. And my relationship style is very different. So I want to honor all relationship diversity. Okay, so let's come back to codependency. So codependency is where it looks like this. This is what codependency looks like. We'll give you a visual. It looks like this. And it kind of feels like this. It's all intertwined with one another. It's like there's no individuality. It's like you complete me. This is the concept, okay? Interdependency looks like this. Two separate, awesome individuals, or more than two, all people in the relationship are a complete separate entity, and then you all come together and you co-create. And you co-create and you move like this. And you dance like this. And you go away and you come back, and you go away and you come back. And you dance like this. Okay. Now, so that's what that looks like. Interdependency, codependency. Interdependency, la la la, codependency. Right? Now, the reason I'm having this conversation is because a lot of my clients come to see me, and the number one thing that I have to talk about with almost every client that I see, every student that I work with, even friends in my life, that when it comes to relationships, we have been taught to believe that codependency is love. So codependency is like the idea that somebody else is going to be your better half. Somebody else is going to complete you. Somebody else is going to come into your life and make you happy. They're going to sweep you off your feet. They're going to rescue you. They're going to take care of everything. And life is going to be fabulous and amazing just because this other person has come to the rescue. That is pretty much the premise of every romance novel, every fairy tale, and every Hollywood romance story. So we've all been programmed. So don't be like, oh my God, this is awful. She's talking about me. Don't worry. We all have it. We are all programmed. Every single one of us has been made sure that we believe this. Okay? So you're not alone. You have the whole world with you. Now, we don't really want to be codependent. See, codependence doesn't lead to happy relationships. It doesn't lead to independence. It doesn't lead to getting your needs met. It doesn't lead to happiness. It doesn't lead to epic sex. It doesn't lead to relationship harmony. It doesn't lead to anywhere good, other than the only thing is that you continually will feel empty and needy and not having your needs met. That's where codependency leads you. Now let's talk a little bit about interdependency. Interdependency is where you are consciously choosing to co-create a life or time or an experience or a future with each other. But you are still stepping in as this whole complete individual of awesomeness, which means you have something awesome to bring to the table. And the other person or other people in this scenario have they're entities, they're independent, they're individuals of awesomeness, and then they have something to bring to the table. And so, You get to co-create. This is what interdependency means. All right. So how does this, so that's all great. You know, you're like, that's great, Gaia. How does this actually technically play out in my life? All right. So this is a big topic and this is like deeply rooted. So I'm only going to touch on a little bit of it because you might have to come see me to dive deeper into this because, like I said, this is deeply rooted in our culture and our society and our DNA and our parents and genetics and all sorts of stuff. Okay. All right. So how do you know if you're being codependent or versus interdependent when you're in confines of a relationship? Well, codependency is, here's an example of codependency. Here's actually an example of codependency with actually a couple that I recently was doing coaching with. So they're heading to the grocery store. And the female of the relationship says, what do you want to eat for our dinner tonight? And the male of the couple says, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. Whatever you choose is fine. And the female starts to get really emotionally upset and distraught. And instead of saying why she's emotionally distraught, she starts in again with like, well, we could have this, we could have this, we could have this, we could have this, we can have this, we can have this. And the male in the interaction is start getting emotionally distraught instead of knowing why or talking about why he's getting emotionally distraught. He starts into getting frustrated in a frustrated tone, saying, well, I told you I don't care. Fine, let's just do tacos. And so now she says, and she's all upset because, you know, he doesn't seem happy about this. And instead of saying, checking in with him and figuring out what's going on there, she then responds with, well, okay, great. We'll do tacos. What do you want on your tacos? Because I like this, and this in my tacos. I don't know what you want in your tacos. And he's like, I don't really care what's on my tacos. Now they're in the grocery store. Now they're like agitated. They're arguing. They're fighting about stuff that's not really important. And so it goes horribly wrong. All because of just tacos. So why was that codependent? Well, that was codependent because here's what was really going on. Cooking together for her is an expression of intimacy, connection, and love. And food is a big part of that. And going on that adventure is a way in which she can connect with her partner. It's about love, it's about intimacy, it's about connection. And for him, what was happening in the back end of things is every time he's ever tried to cook with his ex-wife or ex-partners, he always was not good enough and didn't do it right. And so he was afraid that he was going to make the wrong choices, the wrong decisions. So he's trying not to make any decisions. And she keeps trying to force him to make a decision. And he's afraid that he's going to fail. Okay. So that's what's playing on in the background. Now, how they could have moved from an interdependent space, because now each time they're asking and talking with each other, they're making a bunch of assumptions before they speak clearly or ask for what they need. So interdependent relationship would look like this in this scenario. And say, so the female would say, I'd really like to cook together tonight. It's a way in which we can have intimacy and I find it really sexy. I love being in the kitchen. How do you feel about that? And he can say, well, being in the kitchen has been a very stressful experience for me in the past because I've never, my partners have judged me and attacked me and I wasn't good enough and I did it all wrong. And that's being honest. So each person's taking responsibility for the part that they're playing or the part that's going on. And then she could then ask for, well, what if I promise that I won't judge anything that you do, and you can pick whatever task that you desire to do in the kitchen, and I will let you do that, and that's your baby, and I will do my part, and we'll co-create together in the kitchen, and then we'll have a juicy, sexy meal together afterwards, and we'll enjoy each other's company. Because that's what I'm feeling, is I really want to connect with you and have intimacy. So how can we do this and have fun while we're in the kitchen, so that it's a good experience for all of us? That's coming from a place of negotiation, which is what interdependency looks like. Interdependency is saying, I desire X, and it allows the other person to say, well, I desire X. And because you both understand what X is, you can then come to the table to navigate, negotiate, and come to not a compromise, but a win-win situation for both people. Codependency is where you don't actually allow the other person fully and completely to ask for what they need or want, because you're not truly asking for what you need or want. You're like beating around the bush, you're making hints, it's like you're talking a different language, you're not making sense because you're afraid of their reaction, because you're worried about how they're going to engage with you. You're assuming a bunch of things that causes nothing but problems at the end for both of you. So just to start to think about that, because it's a lot, it's intertwined and it's very complex. So to really get into that, I really would like you to start with, before you go to talk to your partner, you're navigating something, okay? I want you to stop for a second and say, well, what do I really want in this interaction? Do I want closeness? Do I want time spent? Do I want to just talk? Like, what is it that I want in this interaction? And from there, I want you to then speak very clearly, saying, this is what I would desire. This is what I desire. This is what I would like to see happen. And then you open up the table to say, what would you like to see happen? And give them permission to also make I statements of, this is what I would like to see happen. This is what my desires are in this moment, in this experience. And then from there, you can come to the table to create the negotiation, to actually have a negotiation and true communication of what's going to happen. All right, I know that's a lot. So that's the first step, okay? Now, if you're like, whoa, there's so many times that I realize that before I talk about anything or anyone, I'm always trying to guess what their reaction or their experience or what they are going to want or need or do before I basically act, talk, behave, think. And if that's the case, which it is for most of us, because remember, we all been taught to move like this. It's everybody else's job to make us happy, or it's our feeling that our responsibility to make others happy, that I highly recommend you coming and hanging out with me, so that we can dive into that and figure out new ways in which you can show up as a maze member, this individual, this strong, happy, sexy, powerful, epic, awesome individual, so that that's where you move into all of your interactions, all of your relationships, and how you move in the world. Okay. You can find me at and just a reminder, you can find me at succulentliving.com. And I can't wait to hang out with you next month. And remember, Frisky Fridays on the third Friday of every month. We talk about all things couple related. And if you want to get more of me, come visit me at succulentliving.com, as well as get on the Frisky Fridays newsletter, because you'll be getting lots of juicy content that are sent to your email. All right, bye-bye. Love you. Thanks for hanging out.